Okay, so I'm in Beirut. I have about an hour and a half until my flight. Um, it's hard to just explain like how this happened, but I did have to cancel the last third of my trip, at least in terms of what my plans were. Um, and like I, I'll just say this in the way that it like this is just like what's been going through my head like for the last day. That like I do not know what happened, but all I know is that I was double checking everything when I was at the airport, and I was wrong about Poland's entry policy. Um, I was under the impression that vaccinated people were allowed to enter Poland, and I was not only under that impression. If you only knew how much I researched all of this and double checked and triple checked everything, like it was like a bad dream of like looking at pages that I honestly felt I looked at before, that had official information on it, and seeing the opposite of what I thought it was. It was like, are U.S. citizens allowed to enter Poland? No, they are not. And I think I know. I have an idea of what might have happened. It was very hard. So there were two factors. One factor was that uh, there was kind of a big deal that was made when certain countries started allowing vaccinated people into the country without taking a COVID test. And I know I saw a ton of articles about that with regard to Poland. So I saw that and I assumed that it was an across the board statement. And that connects to the other thing, which was that uh, it's very hard when you're trying to find information to kind of not have like this mess of like articles that are written by like by Europeans for Europeans with information for Europeans, and then information that's written by Americans for Americans. So I think what happened was that I saw a lot of articles about how vaccinated people are now allowed to enter Poland. It was not an across-the-board statement, and it applied to only EU citizens, or I guess Schengen zone people. And then the other thing was Poland has this whole complicated list of exceptions, and I think I may have misinterpreted that. So either way, when I double checked everything at the airport, hours before my flight, the answer was like a very, very strong no. You are not allowed to do this. You are not allowed to go there. Yeah. So, yeah, so I mean, this is, this is, the travel during COVID has been so crazy. And I thought like in the summer, then like things would be getting simpler again. And like it's been at each place I've been to, then it's just been like a nightmare, like trying to figure out like what to do. But, I do feel like I was bound to make a mistake like this at some point. But it's also just goes to show the nature of double checking, that if you double check and you're checking the wrong source twice, then if you're making the same misinterpretation like 3 or 4 times, you're absolutely sure about your misinterpretation. So so I was at the airport in Yerevan in Armenia, and I was just like okay, so what do I do now? I couldn't even go home. I couldn't even go back to the U.S. if I wanted to, because I would have needed a negative test. And even if I would have gotten a negative test, then we're talking like this is very late on Wednesday night, so like I wouldn't have been able to get out before Sunday, with getting results and with Shabbos and all that kind of stuff. So I just sat at my computer and I was like, okay, I have to, first things first. So I made a list of like everything I had to do, and I was like, okay, I have to cancel all my flights. I have to cancel all my hotels. I have to cancel all my tours. I have to figure out what I'm doing tonight. Am I taking a flight out of this airport like in a few hours? Am I spending the night in Yerevan and then coming back in the morning? So so I had to figure that out, and then obviously I had to figure out where I was going. um, and I had to just figure out like what I was doing. I had to book all new flights. I had to book all new hotels. I knew wherever I booked, then I would not just have to like book and then go. I'd have to book return flights also. I'd have to research wherever I was going, figure out all the COVID policies and everything, and actually double and triple check that like in a way that's actually valid. And I'd have to figure out like where I was staying, what I was doing. And like, not only was this made difficult just because of how last minute it was, but there's like all these COVID rules. Like one thing that I learned about Poland was you're not even allowed to transit through Poland. You're not even allowed to have a layover in Poland if you don't fall into one of their exceptions. So a place like Armenia, like they don't have flights out to a lot of places, and like the two most common flights that they had. That would kind of connect you to like major hubs that would go to different places were Warsaw and different cities in Russia: Moscow, St. Petersburg, Ekaterinburg. So both of those places were places that did not allow Americans to transit. So I really have to like dig deep. I have to got to look at all these different COVID policies. And I was very close to making one decision, and then I made a different decision. And I'm not going to tell you where I'm actually going, because I would rather show you, and because it has been so stressful. It's been so crazy, just so chaotic that like I'm gonna it's more fun for me. At least I get a little just something out of it, to tell you guys in a way that actually, is as meaningful to you as it is to me. So even though I'm leaving you in suspense, I'm not gonna tell you my final decision. You'll see a video in several hours. I'll tell you what I was about to do, which I was about to. I was very close to booking to Copenhagen. Which allows vaccinated Americans, So, there's a flight. It was not cheap points wise, but I was like, okay, like if this is an option, then I guess this is worth considering. There were not that many options, and whenever I thought about it, it was something was unsettling about it mentally, just because I prepared so much for this, and I put so much like mental energy into what I'm doing on this whole trip. This has been something that like I really care about, and I really wanted to like engage in this way that really felt like I was fully I was fully doing it, and I was fully learning what I wanted to learn, experiencing what I wanted to experience. And this felt like I was abandoning all that, and I was, like that's what the decision was. It was like, okay, so I did the first destination and learned about that, and I did the second destination, and then I stopped, and I'm going to some random place, and like that's how it felt when I was looking at Copenhagen. I was looking at Madrid. I was looking at the capital that starts with a P of Montenegro. I don't remember what it's actually called. I was looking at all these like random places, and I was just like, am I like? It just felt like walking away from something important, So I made a different decision. I realized that there's a decision which is the right thing, and what the next logical step was kind of staring me at it was staring me in the face the whole time. So I will update you guys again when I get there. Yeah, this has been so crazy. Like between like this and like the Dubai thing and the, oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm fine, and I'm like when I go into crisis mode like this, then like I actually get calmer. And even though there's like a background stress, then like there's just a feeling of kind of just being swept up in like, okay, I guess this is what I'm doing. I guess these are the, it's like just like being pushed in front of a table, and like there's two different things you can choose, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna choose this one, and then push me to the next table, and I'm gonna make the next decision. Oh man. Yeah. Okay. I will see you guys in a few hours.